This is Carter Cash, and you're watching Random Destinations. This week, we are going to visit my favorite state park in all of Missouri. We go there often, we always enjoy it, and I want you to take a look at it and see if you'd like it too. So stay tuned. Here we are down at Bennet Springs. We are over in a nice little picnic area with a nice playground. And let's go take a walk down and take a look at the river. Well, actually, it's not a river, it's the spring. You catching all the fish today?
I caught one.
You caught one?
Better than all of them.
Then you are catching all the fish today. Yeah, this is just a very pretty little place. We'll go ahead and take a walk up to the bridge. We're going to walk across the little bridge here that separates this park from the main spring access. On the left-hand side, it's artificial baits only. On the right-hand side, you can use artificials, or you can use soft body plastic baits. I'm not sure about live baits. I have caught a lot of fish off this bridge. Yeah, here are the different zones. There's actually, I think, 3 different zones. Zone 1 is fly fishing only, and that's up by the spring, which we're going to walk up to next. Zone 2, between here and the dam, is flies and artificials. And Zone 3 is plastic, natural, and scented baits. And actually, if you have a trout stamp and a Missouri fishing license, there's a Zone 4, which is the river, which is where Connie Wilson and I do most of our fishing, and there you have to have a state trout stamp, but you can fish with any type of bait. The nice thing about Bennet Springs is it's a trout park. You don't need to have a fishing license. You're going to buy a day tag here for around, I think I heard somebody say $7.50, and so it doesn't matter if you're in state or out of state. You get a daily trout stamp, trout tag. You have to display it, and I think the limit is 3 keepers per person. And the park is restocked based on the number of tags they sell, so they try to maintain the same number of fish available for everybody. In this Zone 2, which is artificials and flies, you don't have to use fly rod. You see a lot of people out here with fly rods and fly fishing, but then you also see someone down here with a spinning rod. Now, I had a fly rod for a number of years, and at my best I was piss poor at it, so it's not my preferred method to This is the start of Zone 2. It's at the stone bridge. On the right hand side as you come into the park, it's all artificials or flies. And over here on the left hand side as you come into the park is the dam, fish hatchery. Okay, we are just down or upstream from the dam and the fish hatchery, and it's about a quarter mile from here up to the spring itself. This is a real pretty part of the park. It's almost all paved. They have handicap fishing piers out here. All right, this is one of the handicap piers that they have. And you can see another one up there. And they have these nice paved sidewalks that follow the river, and it's actually very nice. Nice thing about Bennett Springs being a trout park, it's always 10 degrees cooler down here than it is anyplace else. So it's a great place to come in the summer, and especially a good place if you have small kids, because the water's so cold that you don't have to worry about them running in there and having fun. Well, I have fished this part of the spring. I can't say I've ever caught a lot of fish here. I see a lot of people fishing. This is a great area to come have a picnic lunch, but I personally have never had a tremendous amount of luck here. But then I typically don't fish with flies either. This is another one of the little picnic and fishing areas they have along this upper part of the river. And honestly, I don't think you're going to find a prettier place in this state. I mean, it's just beautiful. There aren't a lot of people here. You're in the shade. You get a nice cool breeze off the river, and with any luck, you'll catch some fish. This is one of the half dozen or so, I'm guessing, artificial rapids built in here. I don't know who taught these people how to fly fish, but they're a lot better than I ever was. They can actually put a fly where they want it to go, which was something I never seemed to master. Now up here in the distance you can see a stone structure. I believe that was originally a pump house and the site at which they measured the flow from the spring. Now Bennett Springs is really a full service state park. They have these nice cabins for rent. I don't know how many of them they have. I'm going to guess a dozen or so. They also have a motel. They have a full service drive-through or pull-through RV section, and they have two campgrounds. One of them primitive and one of them with electricity and power if you want a tent or use a pop-up. So you don't have to like to camp to come here. And also there are probably 2 dozen different trout resorts within 5 or 10 miles of here. Good morning. These appear to be duplex cabins, and judging from the size of the parking, they probably sleep 8 to 10 people, I would guess. And this is actually the spring itself. I have caught fish here. Let me just go over to the cheat sheet, and I can impress you with my knowledge while I show you that, and then read from the picture here. On average of 100 million gallons of water every day. Humans have inhabited this area for thousands of years, before the establishment of a mill town in 1840s. The basin here is, according to this, 50 foot wide, with water rising through a 10 foot by 20 foot wide passage. And it apparently is coming from roughly 75 feet below the surface. Now, one of the things that makes it kind of amazing is that this spring joins the Niagara River, And the Niagara River flows into the Lake of the Ozarks in the Niagara arm. So I would say as crow flies, we're probably a good 35 miles from the Lake of the Ozarks at this point. But this is the start of the entire Niagara arm of the Lake of the Ozarks. So let's go take a little look around it. Again, one of the nice things about fishing here at the spring is you won't get snagged on anything. There's so much water coming up that your bait will just float all around in there and have a good old time. And as you can see, relative to other parts of the park, it's not crowded at all. Of course, this is also a Monday when most people will be at work. Alrighty, so I'm going to turn this off and walk back to where Edith May is waiting, and then see if she wants to get some lunch, or if I should continue. We've covered about half of the park, so we'll go back and find Edith May and decide what we're going to do next. Alright, we're going to go into the little general store here at the park. It's actually a pretty nice little store. It has just about everything you need and is well equipped for fishing. And this is also where you get your daily tag, and you can get a fishing license in here. So let's go check it out. Thank you. So they have a collection of everything you'd need for fishing, from baits to rods and reels and hats and grocery supplies. And raincoats and sunglasses and t-shirts and snacks and souvenirs. All in all, a very nice little shop. Thank you. So let's go down and take a tour of the second half of the park. All right, we've had a nice lunch and now we're going to pick up where we left off. We're actually on the other side of the river from where we started this morning. There's the bridge up there, and this is zone 3 down here, where you can use artificials, soft body, and natural baits. And that's the little shelter park area where we started out this morning, and we're going to go ahead now and walk the last quarter mile or so down into where the spring reaches the Niagara River. But every now and then they put these nice access points in, so you don't have to hack your way through the ticks and mosquitoes and chiggers to get down to the river. And that's nice, especially if you're old like me and you fall down a lot. And here's a nice little river access point. I have caught some fish here, and the last one, and the bridge. Because if you have kids or grandkids and you don't want to spend $1,000 taking fishing once a year, this is an absolutely perfect place to come. You can just get them a day tag, let them fish, they can catch them. Trout are easy to catch, and I don't care what the sportsmen say about the wily trout. They're not particularly wily. They're easy to catch, they're easy to clean, and they have a nice mild flavor. Now over here on the right is an access point to the river. This is the Niagara River, like I'd mentioned earlier, that does flow all the way into the Lake of the Ozarks. This is an access point for canoe rentals. This is a great little river to float during the summer. It's naturally cool. I believe it has a self-populating population of rainbow. And it also has German brown. I don't know that the German brown actually reproduce in the river or not, but I'm pretty certain that the rainbow trout do. Now, I haven't been down here for a couple of years, but all this nice safety stuff and big signs and stuff, there was none of that the last time I was down here. If you came around this corner too fast and hit this low water bridge, you were in for a shock, because sometimes it was underwater. But now I see we've implemented that if it saves one life, it's worth whatever you throw at it. So this is getting near the end of the park. Matter of fact, the end of the park is right there. Those trees you see straight ahead are on the Niagara River. Your day tag only works to the mouth of the river. And if you're going to fish in the river, then you better have a fishing license and you better have a trout stamp. Otherwise, you're going to get a healthy surprise if you're checked. We're going to go ahead and walk out here because of all the places in this park to fish. I've caught more fish out here than any place. This is always our go-to spot, and sometimes we come down here and we don't even get the day tags, because where we're going to go here's on river about, I don't know, 7 feet outside the park, and at that point you have to have a Missouri fishing license and a Missouri trout stamp. But I would say probably 9 out of 10 times that we come down here, we've caught our limit of fish here. But this particular spot right here is Connie Wilson and myself, our favorite place to fish. Now you can see a bunch of kayaks and canoes, and they also rent rafts and sometimes tubes coming down the river from one of the resorts up there. In fact, there's a big resort just on the other side of the river here. We've had a lot of rain, because normally this would be running clear, and it's a little cloudy. It's not muddy, but it's certainly cloudy. And that bridge down there is the back entrance to Bennet Springs off, I think it's State Highway 64. I don't think it's US Highway. That may be Highway 64. So pretty much this is it. Bennet Springs,